Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well this evening. A couple of days before the new year starts, and it's going to get interesting the next few days. I wanted to talk about your 13th sign, which is your dragon head and tail, and how precious metals work into this. Your 13th sign, let's start with that. What is the 13th sign? Modern astrology doesn't really, how do I say this? Modern astrology gives it very little recognition. Some even ignore it when it comes to the complexity of the dragon's head and tail. It gives a lot of humans a lot of lost information in a great many ways. So I want to talk about that a little bit today. What does it all mean, so to speak? I have some notes I wrote down here. So you'll hear a lot of astrologers, even here on YouTube, I've heard them too, talk about K2 and Ratu. It's usually people that practice a more Vedic approach to astrology, which is a great way to approach astrology. I'm losing my voice today, so bear with me. I love wintertime. I'm always sick. Not sick, but I always get like sore throat or something like that. I'll be okay. But using your 13th sign, we talked about K2 and Ratu. I don't use that. I do a more Chinese method, which is the dragon head and tail. And just to give you a little feedback about what that is, the dragon's head is pretty much the wheel of fortune for us as souls. It's a major contributor to our success and our failures if we do not know where these placements are within our own star chart. You know, the dragon's head is the north node of the moon, and it is a positive aspect. It's positive energy. Like I said, it's the wheel of fortune. It's wanting the soul to be pushed towards success and the light in some ways. It's self-discovery, and it can bring on happiness, joy, success, love. All of these things are important to know. Now the tail, this is the south node, and this is where we're very comfortable in this area of our lives. We are very comfortable residing in our dragon's tail because we've lived this life before. This is past life residue, karmic residue, if you want to call it that. It's a negative energy in some ways. It's karmic past. If you don't understand the energy, it will drag you down to a world of despair and a world of constant chaos, constant hardship, people are constantly in debt. This is because they don't know where this energy is at in their own star chart. Like I said, modern astrology does not tap into this very much at all. Vedic does, Chinese astrology, divine, which I practice, the Nostradamus method. Nostradamus used this method to predict things. This is where fear comes in, fear from past life problems. This is where inner conflicts come in. This is also where, I should put my glasses on and read my notes. I'm trying to do this without reading them. This is where we are at our weakest point, okay? And riding the tail of the dragon is not a place you want to be. You want to ride the head. It's almost like riding the devil. Better you ride the devil than the devil ride you. But we always want to achieve from our head, not our tail. We're very comfortable in our tail. And if you ever get a 12-month lucky, unlucky dragon forecast from me, you'll be educated on what your dragon head and tail is and how you can achieve success maybe you're living in a place that's not very successful for you. You need to move. Maybe you need to go somewhere else. Hello, Dream Achieve. Welcome. But all of these things play into a bigger scale here of things. So it's very important. And when you know where these placements are, you can use them to your advantage. Because like I said earlier, knowing where these energies are can hinder or benefit you. This is also, the dragon's tail is also, what did I write down here? It can drag you down, and it will create fear. It will create internal conflicts. It creates weakness. And I said, we as humans are most comfortable here. Even myself, I can honestly say when I was first taught this method of astrology, I had to sit back and answer honestly with myself, not with my astrologer, not with my shaman, my mystic, myself. I had to be honest with myself and say, okay, the negative attributes of a Virgo. I'm going to use myself as an example. My dragon head is Pisces and my tail is Virgo. And there are some negative attributes to Virgo. There are a lot of people with a dragon's head in Pisces and a tail in Virgo that dismiss metaphysics altogether. They're picky, they're fussy, they're, I wouldn't say opinionated, but they act like they know it all. This is a dragon's tail in Virgo I'm talking about. There's other aspects I'm trying to think right off the bat. Picky, fussy. They're the mental snobs of the zodiac. And what I mean by that is a lot of people with that placement have no, they will dismiss the metaphysical and the occult realm for science. And we need science, but you also have to take into consideration that the original sciences were astrology, alchemy, original sciences. Those are the negative aspects of someone with a tail in Virgo. Now, I do have a tail in Virgo, and obviously I'm an advanced soul enough that obviously I don't dismiss any of the attributes of metaphysics. I am not a mental snob because anyone can get an education. Any moron in this world can get an education. Trust me, I work with some of them, I know. But intelligence is something you're born with, okay? And there are many people out there who don't have an education, but they're highly intelligent souls. There are people that are highly educated, but they're also highly intellectual beings. It all depends on their star placement. Dragon's head and tail, of course. I am going to put on my glasses because I do want to read something to you guys that I've written down. And I want to talk about alchemy and precious metals and using, every dragon's head has a precious metal that coincides with it. Now, I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about the mineral you were born with in your sun sign, not talking about that. I'm talking about the precious metal that you were born with in your 13th sign. So remember this. Now, Aries, if you have a dragon's head in Aries, your precious metal is steel. This is giving inner strength. Steel is strength. And Aries is a strong sign. It's a powerful sign. It's an aggressive sign. It's the Lord of War. Mars rules it. And the reason I'm bringing all of this up is because I've had a lot of people ask me, is there a certain sort of astrological talismans I can purchase or get where you don't have to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars? So yes, you can. Believe it or not, all these metals that I'm going to present to you, you can order through Amazon. Now, keep in mind that there are some signs that have volatile metals like plutonium and uranium. But I actually did some homework before I came on here, and I looked around, and you actually can buy jewelry, rings, necklaces, bracelets, earrings with these precious metals in it. Um, I even had another friend of mine say to me, who's an alchemist and an astrologer, and she said to me, you could even, for example, Scorpio, their precious metal is plutonium. You could get a necklace that's made with some plutonium, but it also has the plutonium emblem on it. So there are ways you can tap into that energy. This is your own personal dragon energy. So Aries is steel, Taurus is copper. And what I find really interesting about this precious metal correlating to Taurus is the healing energy. This is a healing metal. You know, a lot of people wear those copper bracelets to relieve arthritis and aches and pains. And think about this, way, way, way back. We're going into astrotheology now. When Moses came down from the burning bush and the Israelites were dancing around, that wasn't a golden calf, that was a copper. That was copper because it was the age of Taurus moving into the age of Aries. Okay, makes sense. The signs were there. Signs were there biblically back then. Well, there's a lot of astrological affiliations throughout the Bible that the Bible uses, which is interesting. And I'm not a Christian, so I find it very, very interesting. Taurus, copper, this is healing. Gemini, your precious metal is Mercury, because Mercury is forever changing. Mercury is looking beyond the mundane. People with this ruling planet, you'll notice, are into finding the truth, getting the answers, talking to people, communication. Mercury. Cancer, obviously, this is silver. Silver is the metal of the goddess. It is pure, it's true, pure inner light. Silver. Leo, gold. Gold is for kings and queens. It's powerful, it's regal, it's strength. I have a friend who is Leo, but she also has her dragon head in Leo. Now, gold brings her a lot of luck. She wears her gold earrings and all her gold when she goes gambling or when she goes out somewhere, especially when she knows her lucky and unlucky dragon days. She will use that precious metal to her advantage because she knows that the world below, we use the world above as well. Astrology. And knowing those days and using her precious metal that she's been born with that brings her luck, she can achieve some pretty lucky things. She seems to be at the right place at the right time. I think she has a good astrologer. I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding. All right, on to Virgo. Virgo is your precious metal is aluminum, and remember, you're a mutable sign, and your precious metal being aluminum it's flexible, it's adaptable. Mutable signs are adaptable; they adapt. Gemini is an adaptable sign too, and you can adapt to any situation. Libra. Libra is brass. Brass represents diplomacy. It represents stability. It's not necessarily stability, but it's shapeable. It's a better choice of words. Sorry. Shapeable. Some of you out there can go get yourself some brass knuckles. Brass. That is your lucky. Scorpio, plutonium, we talked about this a minute ago, explosive, can be very volatile when it needs to be. ruler is Pluto. So anything with plutonium, I even looked online because I was curious. Do they sell jewelry with plutonium? It's okay, Kathy. I will go back and repeat it in a little bit. Don't worry. But you are Cancer, so Cancer rules silver, the goddess. Thank you for joining me, Kathy. And where was I? I was at Scorpio. Plutonium, this precious metal. I had to go and research it a little bit just to make sure they sold jewelry and stuff where you can get this metal, and they do. But it's explosive and it can be volatile in its negative state. Remember, everything has a positive and a negative. Sagittarius. Now, your precious metal is tin. And tin, like Jupiter, expands. I've got the hiccups again. Can you believe it? I think every time I come on here, I get the hiccups. I think it's a nerves. I get nervous. Anyway, it's tin. Tin expands the mind. It's expanding, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So this makes sense. Capricorn, yours is iron. Iron is strong. It's unbending. It can be unyielding at times. It carries, you carry a lot of weight on its shoulders. You ever notice the goat climbs the mountain, getting to where they need to go, carrying all the weight that they have and still going? That's the beauty of iron. Aquarius. Now, yours is uranium, as you know, and this is electrical. This is also explosive because Uranus is the sudden release of energy. Uranium, it's nuclear. And this was one of the main reasons I looked up precious metals, because I kind of sat there going, well, how the heck can someone wear a uranium necklace? But it's doable. They have it. Go check it on Amazon. Even my daughter said the other day you could find anything, and I mean anything, on Amazon. So I notice I'm still shining. Not quite as bad, but I'm still shining. Last but not least is Pisces, and this is my dragon's head, Pisces, and this is platinum. And platinum is precious metal. It's a rare metal. It's unique, and a lot of people that have a dragon's head in Pisces are, and I'm not comparing myself to him in any sense of the way when I say this, because I think it would be highly disrespectful of Nostradamus himself to say this. But he had a dragon's head in Pisces, as do I. Mine is placed in a different housing system. Mine's placed in the third house. Third house is communication, mental process. People with this placement are very gifted in astral traveling, which is something I'm very good at doing. This energy, though, Pisces energy, it's not an accident I'm an astrologer, and it's not an accident I'm coming on here broadcasting this to you guys. High spiritual knowledge. Platinum. If you have a dragon's head in Pisces, no, you have to find yourself some platinum. Platinum earrings, platinum ring, even a keychain. It's a talisman. When you get these precious metals and you obtain them, you bless them. You bless them for yourself. You bless them for protection, whether you light sage, whether you mix it with sea salt. You bless them. And you hold them. Whether it's the ring, whether it's the necklace, bracelet, earrings, you kind of hold them in your hand and put your energy into them. And that's really about all I have on the precious metals. I thought I'd do this, my daughter and I were talking about it. This is how the concept of me doing this came up. We were talking about this the other day, and she was saying, oh, well, I'm quite fond of silver more than gold. And she goes, isn't that strange? Because I'm a Leo. So I said, actually, no, not really, because your dragon's head's in Cancer. Cancer rules silver. You're more drawn to the feminine, the goddess, and makes sense. She is very drawn to her feminine side, even though she's Leo. She is Leo. Her son is Leo, trust me. So I just found it really interesting. So I thought I'd do a podcast about it. And before I end this broadcast, I do want to let everybody know that I had posted my last forecast for the year. I won't post another one till next week sometime. Please be careful out there. Okay. I something disastrous is going to happen during New Year's Eve. I don't know where. I can almost bet it'll be in the United States, England, or France. And I was just looking at the solar eclipse for January 5th. I'm going to do something on that in the very near future, in the next few days maybe. But there is some menacing news coming. I don't know if it's a terrorist attack, another shooting. Platonic energy, especially now in a waning moon, it's, with this dragon energy on these certain countries, it's kind of coming into all the pieces are fitting together, so to speak, astrologically speaking. So if you do plan on going out for New Year's Eve, I'm not saying you can't go out. Okay. I'm going out for a little bit. I'm a DJ, so I'll be on DJing New Year's Eve night. But I am going to go out with my family earlier in the day and have an early dinner and go to our favorite restaurant. That's fine. What I'm saying is stay out of large crowds. And if you're going to Times Square, you're crazy. I wouldn't go there. If you're in England and you're going to some big outdoor event in London, I wouldn't go there. France too, I wouldn't go there. Stay away from large events is what I'm trying to say. So with that being said, I want to wish each and every one of you a wonderful, happy New Year 2019. I will be posting the new moon forecast along with the solar eclipse forecast. And what's interesting about this is you have the sun and the moon at an eclipse. You got the two energies. I always talk about the moon, but you also need to use the sun's energy too. So we have this eclipse coming, and this is going to create some very dramatic, major changes are coming, especially for Cancer and Capricorn. And we're going to go in it with faith because we're going to get through this. It's going to be positive. And what is challenging for us will give us learning experiences, because that's what life's about. They're learning experiences. I used to think of things in a very negative way, but now I see them as learning experiences. And I think back to 10, 15, 20 years ago, and I go, aha, aha. I guess that third eye opens. Anyway, be safe out there New Year's Eve, and don't drink and drive. Drink lots and lots of water. You can party. I'm going to party a little bit. I'm DJing, so I have to behave myself. I don't want to slur my words on air. That is not, I don't do sloppy. That's not something I do. But be safe out there. Have fun, and make 2019 a year that we learn from our mistakes, move forward. And remember, the dragon head is in Cancer, so this is very spiritual. This is a spiritual awakening for a great many of us coming. And remember, I'm offering my Lucky Dragon Day for the whole year for, I think it's $30. It's going to change on January 31st. It goes back up to $50. And It's a great deal. Know your lucky and unlucky dragon days. I just gave you important information on what your magical mineral is, what your, not mineral, what your magical, I guess it is kind of a mineral in a way. I've just given you information on the alchemy of your dragon's head and tail, basically. You know, what precious metal, that's the word I'm looking for, not mineral, what precious metal coincides. So Happy New Year. I will try and get back on here before New Year's, but if not, I did promise you guys some tarot reading work, and I will keep my word on that, I promise. It's just I've got a lot of things going on. So, and I'm also got a lot of charts I have to do. So you guys kind of do keep me busy, and I love it. Thank you. Check out astrologywitch.com. Until we meet again, ciao.